What if everything you thought you knew about angels, demons, and the cosmos was merely a fragment of an ancient truth? A truth so profound that it was deliberately removed from religious canon and hidden away for centuries. This is the Book of Enoch, a collection of ancient writings attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, who supposedly walked with God and was granted visions of heaven and earth that no mortal was meant to see. Enoch, seventh from Adam, who never died but was taken directly into heaven, left behind accounts of fallen angels, cosmic secrets, and prophecies that would shape the spiritual landscape for millennia to come. How did these texts, lost for nearly 2,000 years, re-emerge to challenge our understanding of biblical history? And what forbidden knowledge do they contain that powers throughout history have tried to suppress? Join us as we unravel the mysteries of the Book of Enoch, a journey into celestial realms, fallen divinity, and the battle for humanity's soul. To understand the significance of the Book of Enoch, we must first place it within the tapestry of ancient religious literature and discover how this remarkable text survived through millennia of censorship and neglect. The Book of Enoch was written during a period of enormous religious ferment between the 3rd century BCE and the 1st century CE, when apocalyptic literature flourished among Jewish communities anxiously awaiting divine intervention in human history. Although referenced in the biblical Book of Jude and influential among early Christians, Enoch was ultimately excluded from the biblical canon established at the Council of Nicaea. While Western Christianity rejected it, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church uniquely preserved it as sacred scripture. For centuries, the complete text remained unknown to the Western world until the Scottish explorer James Bruce brought 3 copies from Ethiopia in 1773, igniting scholarly fascination that continues to this day. But the most stunning validation came in 1947 with the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which contained Enoch fragments in the original Aramaic, confirming its ancient origins and importance to the Qumran community. These discoveries revealed something remarkable. The Book of Enoch wasn't merely a curious religious text. It was a foundational document that influenced Judaism, early Christianity, and potentially even Islam, despite being actively suppressed for most of Western religious history. The question remains, why was this text considered so dangerous that it needed to be hidden away? What secrets does it contain that religious authorities feared? The Book of Enoch isn't a single work, but rather 5 distinct books bound together, each revealing different aspects of cosmic mysteries. Let's venture into these otherworldly realms, beginning with perhaps its most controversial section, the story of the Watchers. The Book of the Watchers tells a story barely hinted at in Genesis, of angels assigned to watch over humanity who became enamored with human women. Led by Samyaza and the infamous Azazel, 200 watchers descended to Mount Hermon, where they took a terrible oath to mate with human women, an act of cosmic rebellion. From these unions came the Nephilim, giants who, according to the text, stood over 300 cubits tall. These hybrid beings consumed everything in their path until the earth cried out under their oppression. But the Watchers' transgression went beyond producing monstrous offspring. Enoch tells us they taught humanity forbidden knowledge. Azazel taught weaponry and cosmetics, Barakijal taught astrology, Arakiel taught earth signs, Shamsiel taught sun signs. This myth presents a profound question. Was humanity's rapid technological advancement not a natural evolution, but a premature gift from fallen divinity? Did the Watchers' knowledge corrupt an innocent species before we were ready? The text describes God's judgment. The archangel Uriel is sent to warn Noah of the coming flood, a divine cleansing necessary because of the Watchers' corruption. What makes this narrative so compelling is how it aligns with myths across cultures, from Greek tales of Prometheus gifting forbidden fire to humans, to widespread flood legends describing divine punishment for humanity's corruption. What makes this narrative so compelling is how it aligns with myths across cultures, from Greek tales of Prometheus gifting forbidden fire to humans, to widespread flood legends describing divine punishment for humanity's corruption. Some interpret the Watcher's story as a cautionary tale about technological advancement without moral evolution. Are we, with our nuclear weapons and genetic engineering, replaying the same dangerous pattern? While the Watchers represent a descent from heaven to earth, Enoch himself experiences the opposite journey. In the most mystical sections of the text, he is taken on an extraordinary tour of the cosmos, revealing a universe far more complex than described in mainstream religious texts. In the Book of the Similitudes, Enoch describes being taken by angels through multiple heavens, an elaborate cosmic structure that would later influence medieval conceptions of paradise. The text describes 7 heavens, each with distinct purposes and inhabitants. In the 3rd heaven, Enoch witnesses both paradise and hell existing side by side, a startling juxtaposition rarely found in canonical religious texts. Perhaps most remarkably, Enoch describes standing before the throne of God, whom he calls the Ancient of Days, and witnessing the Son of Man, who will judge humanity. Many scholars see in this description the earliest roots of messianic traditions that would later develop in Judaism and Christianity. His hair was white like wool, and his eyes like flames of fire, Enoch writes, describing the divine presence in terms that would later be echoed in the Book of Revelation. Beyond theological revelations, Enoch's cosmic journey reveals an interest in astronomy and natural science that was remarkable for its time. He describes the chambers of the sun and moon, the regulation of stars, and the storehouses of wind and precipitation, as if given a behind-the-scenes tour of creation's machinery. What makes these accounts particularly intriguing is the degree of astronomical knowledge they contain, including descriptions of solar and lunar cycles that show surprising accuracy for a text of this antiquity. Enoch's cosmic journey wasn't merely spiritual tourism, it was a revelation of divine order and time itself. This brings us to one of the most distinctive features of the Book of Enoch, its obsession with celestial calendars and the proper measurement of time. The Astronomical Book, sometimes called the Book of the Luminaries, reveals a preoccupation with proper timekeeping that borders on the obsessive. Enoch describes a 364-day solar calendar as divinely ordained. This isn't mere academic interest. The text presents proper calendar keeping as a moral imperative. Those who follow the wrong calendar risk celebrating sacred days at improper times, rendering their worship ineffective or even offensive to God. This calendar controversy reflects a very real debate in ancient Judaism between those following a lunar calendar and those advocating for a solar system. The Dead Sea Scroll community at Qumran, which treasured the Book of Enoch, followed precisely this 364-day solar calendar. But why such emphasis on timekeeping? The text suggests something profound, that cosmic order depends on proper cycles, and human religious practice must align with these divine rhythms. This section reveals a worldview where physical and spiritual realms are intrinsically connected, where improper timekeeping isn't just a practical error, but a form of cosmic disorder that could have catastrophic consequences. From calendars that measure time's orderly progression, we now turn to Enoch's visions of time's culmination, apocalyptic prophecies that would profoundly influence religious thought for millennia to come. In the Book of Dreams and the Epistle of Enoch, we find some of the most vivid apocalyptic literature in religious history, visions of cosmic judgment, the end of current world systems, and the establishment of divine justice. One of the most remarkable sections, the Animal Apocalypse, recounts human history as an allegorical tale of animals, with patriarchs as bulls, Israel as sheep, and their enemies as predators like wolves and ravens. This symbolic retelling culminates in a dramatic transformation where the sheep grow horns and fight back against their predators, eventually transforming into a new kind of creature, representing the righteous transformed in the end times. What distinguishes Enoch's apocalyptic visions is their cosmic scope. The final judgment isn't merely about human affairs, but involves the fallen watchers, celestial bodies, and the very structure of reality itself. These visions would provide critical, foundational imagery for later apocalyptic traditions. The concept of a cosmic battle between light and darkness, a final judgment, and a transformed creation can be traced through Judaism into Christianity and Islam. Even in our secular age, these apocalyptic patterns continue to shape how we imagine global crises and potential futures. The Book of Enoch didn't merely predict an apocalypse, it established a pattern for how we conceptualize world-ending and world-renewing scenarios. From ancient visions to modern influence, how has this suppressed text continued to shape religious thought despite its exclusion from mainstream canon? And what explains its recent resurgence in popular culture? Despite its rejection from the biblical canon, echoes of Enoch's imagery can be found throughout canonical texts, from references to fallen angels in Peter's epistles to apocalyptic visions in Revelation that bear striking similarities to Enoch's accounts. In Ethiopian Christianity, where the Book of Enoch remained canonical, its influence is explicit and profound, shaping religious art, theology, and practice in ways unique to this ancient tradition. For centuries in Western tradition, the Book of Enoch was largely forgotten except by obscure mystics and scholars. But the 20th century saw a remarkable revival of interest, partly fueled by archaeological discoveries and partly by shifting spiritual interests. Today, references to Enoch appear in best-selling novels, blockbuster films, and popular television series. The concept of Nephilim has particularly captured public imagination, featuring in everything from supernatural thrillers to ancient alien theories. Some contemporary religious movements have placed Enoch at the center of their theology, seeing in its suppression evidence of institutional religion's attempt to hide cosmic truths from humanity. Perhaps most intriguingly, some modern readers find in the Watcher's story a relevant parable for our times, a warning about technological advancement without moral wisdom, or about humanity's capacity to destroy our environment through unchecked ambition. Even the astronomical sections find resonance with contemporary interests in ancient knowledge systems and their surprising accuracies. The Book of Enoch stands as a testament to humanity's enduring quest to understand our place in the cosmos, a quest that transcends the boundaries of canonical religion and conventional history. Whether we read it as ancient mythology, suppressed history, or mystical revelation, this remarkable text continues to challenge our understanding of religious development and cosmic order. In the end, perhaps the greatest legacy of the Book of Enoch is how it reminds us that our religious traditions are more diverse, more complex, and more mysterious than institutional histories often acknowledge. In its forbidden pages, we glimpse the untamed spiritual imagination of our ancestors, and perhaps catch whispers of truth still waiting to be rediscovered.